everyone. Welcome to another episode of Girl Talkin' Shenanigans. I'm Marilyn.
And I'm Cynthia.
And I want to just throw out a fun disclaimer that no ex-boyfriends were harmed in the filming of this episode because we're going to get into some stuff.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were talking about this thing called Cool Girl Syndrome. And I was like, what is that? I've never heard of that. So I listened to this hour-long podcast, and basically, Cool Girl Syndrome is where a girl will kind of try to hide her true self to make men be interested in her. And I was sharing this with Cynthia.
Yeah, and I have never, ever heard of this cool girl syndrome.
Yeah.
So I was really intrigued because I'm like, what the heck is that? You know, what could that be?
Yeah. So the more that I was telling her details about it, Cynthia jumped in.
Because I'm just like, I don't do that.
No. And then you said, I do.
Okay, you gotta tell them what cool girl, I can't say that, cool girl syndrome is.
I did.
That it was like you're agreeing though.
Yes.
Right? You're agreeable and that you say things that you don't really mean because you want to be like this.
You don't want to be difficult. You just try to hide yourself to be accepted and liked. And then Cynthia throws at me.
I throw back at her and I said, but that's what you do, because she had told me about some incidents. So I said, well, you do that.
And I was like so defensive. She even said, why are you so...
I don't.
Right? She was like, why are you so defensive? I'm like, because I don't do that. And so then she like threw out an example and she's like, well, what about tennis? And so I thought, well, let's just talk about this on the podcast, because it was a very colorful conversation that her and I had while we were driving somewhere together.
Yeah.
And then the more we were talking about it out loud, the more I was like laughing, because I was like, this seems to be a pattern of mine, and I do not think I have cool girl syndrome. I think what I have is a very keen sense of trying to make people not feel uncomfortable or rejected. And so let's just dive into this, okay? So we're going to go back many years, in my early 20s, and this is when I realized I did it for the first time. I'm at a bar with my girlfriends, and we're hanging out, and I see a guy that I went to high school with who was super cute. And I thought there's no way he's going to come up and talk to me. I was just, this girl in high school, right? And he came up and he started talking to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like he actually knows who I am. And we ended up talking the rest of the night, and then the bar closes, so we go outside and we're chit-chatting. And he was like, do you like to play tennis? Or actually, you know what he said was, he said, do you know how to play tennis? And I said, yes, I do. Now, in my defense, I did not play well, but I learned how to play tennis in PE class in high school. So I was not lying.
Like a little tiny bit.
Yes, let's just call it like a little white lie. Mm-hmm. Because in my mind, I was thinking, if I say that I don't know how to play tennis, then he's going to think maybe I'm not interested in hanging out with him after the club closes or at a later time. Or maybe that it would just be like I was just kind of being like difficult or fussy about what I'd be willing to do to spend more time with him.
Right. Exactly. Right? Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Okay. So then the way that evening or that date played out was that he learned very quickly that maybe I knew how to play tennis, but I wasn't very good at it, because he was serving it to me, and then I was trying to hit the ball back, but I never did. So then he's like, here, let me let you serve the ball. So then I tried to serve the ball, and I couldn't get it over the net anyway. So he's like, let's just hang out and chit-chat, because we were at a park that had tennis courts. So anyways, we ended up dating for a very long time, like years. So in my defense, I think that I was being very polite by just saying yes, because...
Okay,
right?
I'll give you that. I guess I kind of wasn't like that.
Yes.
I'm more of the type of person that if somebody said, do you play tennis? I would say no.
Right.
That I don't.
Yeah, because you
maybe
never
I
have.
took it in PE. I also took, basketball in PE, and I can't play basketball.
No, I can't either.
So I would say no.
Right? And I'm thinking, like, if I say that I don't know how to play tennis or I don't like to play tennis, that maybe he would think, like, she's just blowing me off.
Right.
Like, she's more
nice. Worried about getting the date.
Yeah, and hurting someone's feelings.
And being agreeable for the first date, where I didn't even know that was even a thing.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not worried.
I'm like, no, I don't like that. That's just how I was. Or
right.
I am, I guess still. I always kind of just say what I feel.
Yeah,
and
tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is, and that can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing, too.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, there's probably other incidents you did that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like when her and I got to talking about all this, I realized I think I do have a little pattern of doing this. And it's, like I said, in my defense, to try to be agreeable and not make them think that I am blowing them off by saying, no, I don't know how to play tennis, or no, I don't like to play tennis, or I've never played since high school.
Right.
So this was another incident where I lived in an apartment complex with my roommate, and every time I would get out of my car home from work and I would be walking up the stairs, I would see this cute guy driving through the parking lot to park and go to his apartment. Well, he lived just across the parking lot from me. And so I had been like seeing this guy for like weeks when I was getting home from work. He got home at the same time. And this one day, I was standing outside getting some things out of my car, and my neighbor next door was outside too. And he's like, hey, Marilyn. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, good. So we're just chit-chatting outside. Well, at that very moment, the really cute guy went driving through the parking lot, and I was like staring at him. And he goes, do you know that guy? And I'm like, no, he's just
staring at him.
Yeah, he's just like super cute. I don't think he's lived here very long because I never noticed him until about a few weeks ago. And he goes, well, the reason why I was asking if you knew him is because I know him. And I'm like, you know that guy? And he's like, yeah, he's like a friend of mine. And I was like, well, can you put in a good word for me? So he's like, yeah, sure, I guess. Well, the next morning I came downstairs to get into my car to go to work, and I see this little ripped piece of paper on my windshield washer. It was like stuck underneath it. So I pulled it out, and it was like an ATM receipt. And it literally said, call me, with a name and a phone number. And I knew that it was that cute guy because my neighbor had told me what his name was, and I'm not going to say it. So, anyhow, I thought, well, I don't want to look desperate by calling him, this morning. So I waited all day to call him. I called him when I got home from work. So I'm like, hey, I'm friends with my neighbor, and I hear you are too. And, thanks for leaving your number. And I was like, my heart was racing. I was like so nervous.
So did you check out the ATM receipt? Does he have like money in his account? I would have checked that out.
No, I never looked at that. I think I was more excited that like he actually left his phone number instead of going, no, I don't want to go out with that girl, the one that stalks me every day. So anyhow, one of the things that he said was, do you like sushi? And here I am, like this is one of the scenarios that came into my mind, right? When Cynthia and I were talking about this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually said I like sushi, and I did not like sushi. I had only had sushi one other time, and it was on my 21st birthday. And what's really funny about it is the very first place I ever had sushi was the sushi restaurant you worked at, Aomi's.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is kind of full circle
so long
almost.
ago, yeah.
I mean, I might have been there on my 21st birthday.
I bet. When you went on a weekend.
Right?
I worked weekends, yeah.
That is so funny. We should have met back then.
I know, right? We lost all those years.
I know. I could have known you since I was 21. I went there on my 21st birthday to have sushi. But anyhow, so my knee-jerk reaction was just say yes. And I also want to mention, too, like, when it comes to food, I have to be so picky.
Yeah.
And she understands because every time we go somewhere, especially to a new restaurant, there's hardly anything on the menu I can order. Because as I've said before, I'm allergic to garlic and onions of any kind. So when he said, do you like sushi? I'm thinking, I really don't. But then the worst thing for me to say would be, no, I don't like sushi. And then he would say, well, how about Italian food? Well, Italian food is made with a ton of garlic.
Ton of garlic and onions. Yeah. Then
Yes.
you'd have to go into all the different places where
Yes.
things you couldn't eat, right?
Yes, because
Yeah.
it is very
That
difficult.
makes sense.
Right?
Mhm.
So I just said yes. And the funny thing is that after so many times, okay, so we ended up dating for years too. And after going to sushi so many times, and the funny thing is, now that I'm talking out loud, I don't think I ever told him I didn't like sushi. I don't think that I ever faked that.
You grew to like it. That's
Yes,
why,
because
right?
we would go all the time. And I knew I loved miso soup. I knew I loved edamame. I knew I loved white rice, obviously. And then, of course, there was all the cooked things
Yes,
like
yes.
teriyaki chicken and vegetable tempura or whatever. So
Right.
there was always something I could get. But then he would always get rolls. And so I would try his rolls. And those were delicious. It was just like flavor explosion in my mouth. So as the years went by, I ended up absolutely loving sushi and even turned Steve on to sushi. And now,
Oh, wow.
now and Braden too, for
Yeah,
that matter.
that's right.
Now Braden loves sushi, but anyhow, so then.
It all happened because she lied.
Right? And in my defense, it was to be nice. It was to be agreeable.
Right.
Because like I said, I feel like if I would have said, no, I don't like sushi, like he'd have been like, oh, she's kind of difficult. Or like, oh, God, maybe she doesn't want to go out with me or what. So I feel like I was just trying to be nice. Okay.
And I think there are a lot of people like that, you know, probably more so than my way, I would think, because I might have missed out maybe by saying certain things like, no, I don't like that, or
Right.
just
Maybe.
being honest about it. I don't know, but
Because you're just a fairy. I mean, you probably are learning our personalities, you know, by watching us, you know, be super, like, raw and honest on this podcast.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so funny to me that that there is the other side of the fence, you know, because I think everybody is like me because you just get boxed into how you are.
Yeah.
And, like, when I was saying this to her, and she's like, well, you do that. I think you have cool girl syndrome. Like, I was just, like, so defensive because I was no, I don't change who I am. To be accepted by somebody. I mean, if anything, I am so much like I would have to change so much about myself because I know I'm a lot. And I just never would ever be willing to do that. I just thought if I can get past this first date of not knowing how to play tennis or not, you know, being not loving sushi, I guess, because literally I was taking bites of sushi and like washing it down with whatever I was drinking.
Oh my gosh.
Just to
She's
get it.
like, she knew if she could get through the first date, they're going to love her.
Yeah. Right? I mean, and honestly, I can't say that myself because it sounds really conceited.
No, that's okay.
But like, I just thought, like, I know he's gonna like me. Like, I'm a really likable person.
She is. I'll give her that one too.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you.
And super sweet. So
Thank
she
you.
even did it with her husband that she married, Steve. So she even did that. She told him she liked hiking. Does she look like a hiker?
Oh my
No,
gosh.
that would be a no.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this wasn't the first date actually, because the first date we went to P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
But when we were at P.F. Chang's, if you remember from the serendipity episode, I explained that I was set up with my husband Steve because his sister was a server at Piatti Restaurant in Roseville, where I used to go with her husband all the time. And so I didn't know Laura outside of the restaurant. I just knew her as the server that we loved to sit with. And so on our first date, Steve said, do you like to go hiking? And I'm like, yeah, I love nature. I love squirrels. I love birds. I love flowers. Like, yeah. So,
she likes nature walks. She doesn't like hiking.
Okay,
Let me just put that in there.
Yes, that would be a very accurate way to describe what type of hikes I like.
Hiking was, yeah, exactly.
nature.
And I'll say I like to sing.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
At least we're the same on that.
I'll totally admit that. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm a nature walker.
Yes. And so Steve did say, like, the the trail in Auburn was like very mild. It wasn't like treacherous. You didn't have to climb up these crazy hills or anything like that. And then he said, when we're done with the hike, since his sister lived near there, he's like, we'll just go visit my sister and her husband, and you can meet my nephews, and you can meet the whole family, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, that sounds perfect. So anyhow, and also too, like, I wanted it to sound like I wasn't not a workout girl.
She wasn't like outdoorsy.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
She wanted to appear outdoorsy.
Yes, because sometimes I can kind of shy away from outdoor activities. Like if
and me too.
Right?
Totally,
like I love doing some things. Like I don't love camping, but of course we took Brayden camping because he's a little kid and he needs to experience that.
Me too.
But like if I have to choose, I would rather do something a little more
bougie.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah. I don't love to sweat. I don't love to get dirty.
Yeah, like, remember that part. She doesn't like to sweat.
Yeah. So, and why are you saying that?
She said you like to go hiking.
Oh.
You're going to sweat if you go hiking.
Yes.
Like real hiking, right?
Yes. Because I don't remember breaking a sweat.
Yeah, no, not nature walking, not so much.
On this nature hike. No. Serious. It wasn't
but
that treacherous.
Didn't you, like, climb on a mountain or something with Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So we did. Yeah. We did actually do. Should I just go into that really quick?
Well, yeah. I mean, because didn't you? It wasn't like this normal path. Like like he had kind of said, it's an easy hike. It's an easy little pathway to take.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be seeing the birds and the butterflies. And
yes.
all this, right?
Well, and we did see that in Auburn. But are you referring to the one?
I'm referring to the other one.
The Mount San.
Yes, that's the one I'm referring to.
Okay. Well, actually, that was a hike.
I honestly didn't realize there were two different ones.
Oh.
I thought this was one hike.
No. Okay.
Oh, okay. So you did do a nature walk.
So the nature walk was the Auburn. That was like our second date.
Gotcha.
And then we went and hung out with Laura and her husband and the three boys and had breakfast. Okay, well, let's just jump into really fast this Mount San Jacinto hike that we did.
Because he still thinks you like to hike.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And I think he's probably now figuring out, like, she doesn't really like to, like, get dirty and get sweaty and all this stuff.
Right. Because you've been together for a little while
now,
right?
Yeah, because we met in December, and then we ended up doing the hike up Mount San Jacinto in Palm Springs in October.
Oh, okay. So it had been like 10 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so this was something, this trip was definitely planned. Okay. And so one of Steve's best friends and his wife and family lived in Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. And so there was several guys that were going to be doing this hike up Mount San Jacinto. The guys were going to start at the very bottom, and then the wives of all these men were going to, like, start at the tram. There's, like, this mid-spot tram where you can, like, take it from the bottom all the way to the middle, and then the guys were going to meet us there several hours into their hike, and then all of us ladies were going to hike to the top of the mountain together. And so I totally wanted to do this because I love Palm Springs and I really wanted to, like, have that experience with him. So we trained like crazy, doing stair stepper and the treadmill on an incline. I had no hiking clothes at all. We had to buy the shoes, the socks, the dry fit shorts, the dry fit shirt, the over jacket, like everything. And so because I knew I was going to do that hike, I actually I planned to wear a baseball hat. So we flew to Palm Springs, and his friends that lived in Palm Springs hosted what we called like a carb load dinner. So she made this beautiful spaghetti dinner, and we all
a carb low dinner.
Yes.
I thought you said a carb low dinner.
Oh.
A carb load. So you're loading up on the carbs.
Yes. Okay, sorry if I didn't enunciate it properly.
Okay.
Yes, we were loading up on carbs.
Which makes sense, you know, that you would do carbs for your next day, right?
Yeah, because we were getting that
because you're going to burn it all off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, anyways, I was, like, so prepared for this trip. Not just all the money that we invested in this equipment for me to be able to do the hike, but, like, all the training that we did for, like, days and days and days going to the gym.
Wow.
And I was like, I am ready for this. So at this carb load dinner at Steve's friend's house, one of the ladies announces that they have decided that they're not doing the hike, that they're going to go to a day spa instead. I was like, they're like, do you want to join us? Well, for me, I was like, I've been training for this. And the thing, too, is that I thought was going to be really great about doing this hike with all these couples was to meet all of Steve's friends.
Get to know them.
And get to know them. Yeah, because he talks about these guys all the time, especially his best friend, you know, whose house we were having this dinner at. And I was so excited to get to know all the wives too.
Right.
So then I'm like at dinner and I'm like, my brain is like swirling because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've bought all these clothes, like I've been training. I want to get to know Steve's friends. But a day spa sounds magical.
Yeah, like way better.
So much way better, right? But I just decided I needed to do what I thought was the right thing, and that was to stick to the plan and do the hike with the guys. I just wanted to make sure that they were okay if there was like a girl tagging along, and they were so sweet, and they were like, absolutely, we would love it for you to come. We want to get to know you better. And so I was like, okay, I'm
They
going to...
probably thought a lot about you, actually. You know, that, she didn't follow the crowd. You know,
right,
she's coming with us and wants to do this.
Thank you for
we
that.
planned,
Yeah,
know?
because you know me, like I would way choose a day spa over a hike any day. But you know, it's just the whole buildup of doing it and getting to know his friends, and I kind of wanted to see if I could do the hike because I knew it was going to be treacherous, and I kind of wanted to prove to myself that I'm a girly girl, but I could do this hike. You know,
she could sweat.
Yeah, and I could sweat, right? Well, the funny thing about it all is that I have really bad allergies, like hay fever to like, you know, grasses and flowers and whatever. So the whole time we're hiking, my allergies are like kicking my butt. My eyes are watery, my nose is running. I'm like sneezing.
That's nature.
Yes. I don't know why nature is so mean to me because I love nature, but man, it kicks my butt.
Man.
My eyes were itching and my nose was watering, and so like, you know, I did wear a baseball hat doing the hike, but I did do my makeup. Like, you know, I'm not
of course.
animal.
We didn't think you'd skip that.
Okay, right?
I wouldn't either.
Right?
No way.
No.
They'd all go, who's that?
Yeah. Who's that boy with you?
To me, not you.
No, they would just think I was a little boy or something, no makeup in my hair.
Oh, you brought your little brother with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, my allergies are bothering me right now. And so, anyhow, my makeup is like little by little and dabbing the tears and blowing my nose. Like by the time we got to the top of the mountain, it was dark. It was freezing. And we took some pictures at the top. There's like a little flag there and everything. And we kind of celebrated for a few minutes, but we were like, we need to get back down the mountain. Well, the crazy thing was that when I was like 7 years old, I went to a friend's birthday party at the park, and the mom had arranged this backwards race. And so all of us girls were lined up, and we had to like go run backwards, and whoever crossed the finish line first was the winner. Well, we're all running, and we're trying to look, and anyways, I ended up falling down, tripped over something, and the girl that was a little bit slower who was in front of me obviously didn't know I was laying on the ground because I had fallen, and she was a little bit bigger, and I was like really bony and tiny when I was little, and she fell right on top of my right hip. Gosh. And I couldn't walk for like 2 or 3 weeks when I was a little kid. Like I ended up learning later that it was my hip flexor.
Oh wow!
And but man, that was so painful then.
So is that why you don't like to go backwards? Was that the story that you're
trying
to get to?
No, I'm getting to that. Because we're at the top of the mountain. I haven't thought about this park incident, my park injury in a million years. But coming down that mountain, I was in so much pain, and it was because of that hip flexor. Whatever happened when I was 7 is now re-injured.
Oh, from the climb up or the climb down?
Coming down.
Oh,
it was the strangest thing. I was fine going up.
From when you were 7?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you'd asked me, what did that pain feel like when you were 7, I would have never been able to tell you because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
But as soon as I was like maybe 2 miles or so, I don't remember how long it was, but
I doubt it was 2 miles.
Well, it was. Oh, it was a long, yeah. I should have done some research. I didn't plan to talk about it, but it was a mountain.
It was long.
Yeah, it was a long hike. I mean, the guy started at like 4 a.m, and now it's like dark, and it's like September,
so
October.
that's like an all-day thing.
Oh, it was an all-day thing for the guys.
Oh my
I
gosh.
started halfway up. So anyhow, coming down the mountain, I was bawling because my hip flexor was hurting me so bad.
Oh my God.
So by the time we get to
I
the tram,
carry me down.
oh my gosh, there was no way. I mean,
I
it was
know,
like
right?
it was crazy. It was
call the helicopter to come.
Yeah,
get
like
me.
medic.
Yeah.
They have one on Survivor. They must have a medic on this mountain, right?
Oh my gosh.
So anyhow, so now I literally have no makeup because between my allergies and crying, I
Boy, that sounds like a blast.
Oh my gosh, right? Okay, so now all the ladies are done with their day spa experience, right? And they're gonna meet us at this really wonderful Mexican restaurant. I can't think of the name of it. It's very well known in Palm Springs. California. This is all in California if I didn't say that. And so anyways, they show up looking absolutely gorgeous. Like their hair's all done and they're wearing these like beautiful dresses. And here I am. I had to try to fix my makeup in the back of this car after the hike on our way to the restaurant using just a little compact, and it was a disaster. Plus I'm in my hiking clothes. I got hiking boots, hiking shorts, like this dry fit long sleeve t-shirt. Like it was like literally a nightmare for me. And Steve just kept saying, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for walking into this nice restaurant and sitting across from all these beautiful, lovely, very sweet ladies that invited me to do this experience with them, and I turned it down to do the hike.
And she's never done it again.
No, I never have. No, I'll do a nature walk. We did do some ladybug like hike walk thing, nature walk thing, and there was like butterflies and ladybugs everywhere.
I could do those too.
Yeah, that was super easy. But anyway,
fun. Yeah.
But I love that story. Looking back now, because it's been so many years, I'm not as traumatized as I was. But yeah, I should have took the ladies up on their offer to do that.
I want to know is where's your hiking gear?
It's in my closet. I still have it.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She won't get rid of anything.
No, I don't. That's a totally whole other episode because I can't get rid of anything. But I always think like at least I know I have those really expensive, nice hiking shoes if we ever go hiking again. I don't know if I would fit the shorts because that was 20 years ago, and I have gained a little weight. But the shoes will still fit.
The shoes will still fit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite an experience.
Yeah, totally. And that like really was the pivotal point of me going, okay, and you're right. Yeah. It's not a hike when you're just walking.
Yeah, and I kind of had the whole story kind of wrong anyway, because I literally thought that was like from the beginning. Oh. You said I like to hike, just to say, and that you went on this mountain hike.
And then that was the one that
It's not the nature walk that you actually did go on.
Yeah.
So, but in a way, though, he did think you liked to hike because you did tell him, and then you went and bought all the equipment, and then you went and worked out and did all this stuff because you're like, I'm going to show that I can do this.
Yeah.
Which you saw that you don't like it.
Yeah, I realized I don't like it. I realized
that the old hip flexor.
Yeah. Gosh, Steve knows all the joints and muscles and all this stuff because he's like workout freak. So as soon as I told him, because it was specifically because it was down, he goes, "That is your hip flexor." Because I was pointing right to it. I'm like, "It's like the sharpshooting pain right here. I haven't felt it since I was like 7."
That is crazy.
It was so crazy though that I had never done anything to make it hurt.
Yeah.
And then I just like re-injured it coming down. It was crazy. But
like I said, I thought it was going to be all because, she said she liked to hike because she was doing another little white lie, to get a date. But obviously it wasn't. She was actually on this one.
Well, it too, like in my defense again.
Yeah.
Like I told him that I like to hike. Right. And we're married. So it ended up working out again, too.
Exactly. It totally ended up working out. And the other guys that she said yes, lied about, she was with them for years. So I guess what I'll have to say is maybe she does it the right way. Maybe I wasn't so right. to be a little more agreeable. I probably wasn't. But you know what? I also got told from guys that they liked it because I would say what was on my mind. Or if I did say I didn't like something.
Right.
Because that's kind of been like my whole life, though. Like, if I don't like certain food, I totally say I don't like it. And one of the big things I don't like, and I have not liked my entire life, is any kind of seafood.
Yes.
I do not like fish. I do not like shrimp. I do not like lobster. I don't like crab. I don't like any fish at all. And so, a lot of times, people would say, "Oh, do you want to go here or wherever or something?" I'd be like, no, and I'd always make a face, I'd always be like, oh, no, I don't like fish. Fish is disgusting, terrible. Or, whatever it is I don't like, I always make this big face and all this stuff. And people would, say to me, oh, tell me how you really feel, Cynthia.
Exactly, yeah. Because there's no faking.
There's no in between with me.
Yeah, she just, cut and dry, tell it like it is. And me, I'm just like, well, yes, of course I do. And, super agreeable and... But I just think it's so funny because I just think it, especially when we're such best friends and we're so different. I mean, there's so many things that we're alike, but they do say opposites attract because literally that is the opposite. That would be the last thing I would ever do is say, oh my God, I hate sushi.
Seafood.
Yeah, and no, and he's like, well, I thought you wanted to go out with me.
I do, but I'll just have chicken or something.
Yes.
Or I'd rather have a big steak.
Yeah, I'll have filet mignon for sure.
I know. Yeah, dating was pretty crazy, that's for sure. Huh?
Yeah.
Back in the younger days when we were dating, and now we're old married couple, married, with our husbands and all that. But I do remember, back in my 20s or 30s, when I was dating, it was I remember, going out to the clubs and stuff and dancing and going out dancing. It sounds like me and you both liked to do that.
Yes, because it was the dancing.
I did too. And I did
music.
too. Loved it. And you did meet people that way, if you didn't.
For sure.
If you worked a job that you didn't really meet a lot of guys at or whatever, there really isn't a ton of places you would meet guys at.
No, totally not.
Even though they would say you don't meet the guys at the bar, but this was more of a, club, not going to some, little neighborhood bar or something.
Yeah, a dive bar.
Yeah, like dive bar.
It's like dance club.
It's like a dance club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would think I did meet quite a few boyfriends, from going to dance clubs and stuff. But did you ever get guys asking you or telling you stupid one-liners?
You mean like a pickup line?
Yeah, like a pickup line or anything?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't think I did.
No? I just remember, some guys would, I still remember this one guy. So I was always, and I was always known for my hair back then, because my hair was really long. I had it way down
I mean, it
here.
is getting close now. Her hair is still amazing.
No.
It is.
But I was always back then known for my hair. Everybody would always ask me, oh my God, is that all your hair? Blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so this one guy comes up to me and I think he might have asked me to dance or something, and I might have gone out and danced. And, they're talking, and they come back and they're starting to talk to you or whatever. And you're kind of trying to get rid of them, because you didn't really. And he was like, oh, what kind of shampoo do you use for your hair? And I remember thinking, you are so...
That's kind of a
different.
strange thing to
what
say.
kind of shampoo do I use?
Because your hair's so beautiful,
I guess.
You give credit to the shampoo?
I guess I was supposed to say, what kind of shampoo I use?
I mean, because was he close enough to smell your hair?
I don't
did
know.
he
It wasn't slow dancing. It
right.
wasn't fast dance.
It's like he's trying to say your hair's beautiful, but he's giving credit to the shampoo. What he should have said was, your hair is
you
gorgeous.
Have beautiful hair or something.
Yes, your hair totally caught my eye.
Or if a guy liked the way you smell, he would say, oh, what's your perfume? You smell really good.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, but it's what kind of shampoo do you use?
Yeah, that's
weird.
kind of because perfume is a normal thing, but does he date girls that don't wash their hair very often or something? Because you actually smell really pretty shampoo.
Oh my God, yeah, that's funny.
That is funny. Well, and then I think about it too, and I never got any pickup lines, but I do remember being at the clubs and guys would come and ask you to dance.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking how much nerve did it take this poor guy who I really don't want to dance with to come up and ask me to dance.
Yeah.
And so it was like always so hard for me because I would be like, oh my gosh, I totally would. But like, it's kind of a girls' night out. And like, I don't get that much time with my girlfriends because, I work so much. And like, I would always like come up with these like fumbling long stories to like let him down gently because I did not want to dance with them. I certainly didn't want him to like buy me a drink and then feel obligated.
Oh, yeah. I would always say no, thank you. No, I would always not want them to buy me a drink because then I did feel obligated. I felt like I had to sit there and talk to him.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that.
So if they asked you to dance, like what would you say?
Well, I normally, if I didn't, and there were many times that, I didn't want to dance with this person.
Yeah.
I would say I don't like the song that they're playing. So I would say, you know what? I really don't like this song, and so no thank you,
Yes.
I do remember one time, though, because I would feel bad, so sometimes, because I would say that, but I didn't feel as bad as she felt.
Oh my God.
To say, because I kind of didn't think about that as much as she did.
Yeah, like hurting their feelings.
Like hurting their feelings
like
and stuff.
how much gumption or nerve it took for them to like approach you.
Exactly. And I think in my older age, I've really grown to understand all that, how much, like you said, like how much you had to have like courage.
Yeah.
Like, ask you. So I still remember this one time, and when I think about it, it does make me feel sad.
Oh. You're like, I guess I was a little mean.
Well, no, it wasn't mean, but this guy came up and asked me to dance, and I honestly did not want to dance with this guy, and I just kind of said, oh, no, thank you. I might have said, I really don't like this song or whatever.
Right.
And so the guy kind of says, oh, and he kind of shuffles back off,
Yeah, with his tail between his legs.
So anyway,
Crushed.
after like a few minutes, his friend came over to me, and he just said, I just wanted you to know that you really hurt my friend's feelings because he stood there for the longest time, like looking at you and was getting the nerve up to ask you to dance.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
you turn him down.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I go, I'm really sorry. I said, I really didn't like that song. So if he wants to dance another song, I'll dance something else. And I said, I think he's already kind of hurt, but I just wanted to let you know. So I was like, oh
my gosh.
I felt horrible.
Honestly, I can't believe
I felt terrible.
that his friend, I'm sorry, my allergies.
No,
I can't believe that his friend would come up and say that and make you feel so bad.
I think
because it wasn't like you were mean to him.
No, but because I said no, I think he wanted me to know that I hurt his feelings, like I should just say yes to everybody and have a dance.
Yeah.
Because what's a dance, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I should have.
I know. Even though now you're saying that, and I'm like, like it is just a dance.
Just a dance, and not to make them feel bad like that.
Yeah.
So I did learn a lesson, I guess, that night, because it did make me feel bad, and where before I kind of was just like, no, thank you, or no, I don't want to. Or
well,
whatever,
and too, like at nightclubs, they don't play slow songs like they do at a wedding. So it's all like fast songs. So it's not like you're having to like hug this person that you don't want to.
They did play slow songs back then.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. I always remember them playing so I definitely, when a guy would ask, I would say, no, thank you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, that would be
did not
awkward.
want to have to like.
Yeah, now I'm like thinking, like, I need to ask my friends, like, was there slow songs?
They totally mixed in slow songs
Serious,
in there.
I don't remember ever hearing a slow song or slow dancing at a nightclub.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did.
I'm gonna have to refer to the party girls.
She might have to go back to her party girl.
Yeah, my old posse, the OGs.
That's because when they play the slow song, that's when all the girls would get together and just talk and laugh.
Yeah,
and
like try to huddle.
Yeah,
don't let anybody
so
in.
nobody come ask you to dance.
Yeah, don't let anybody in.
Unless it was that cute guy over there in the corner.
Oh yeah. Then I'll be like, give me some space.
Like, get away from me.
Make some room. Make it look like I'm available. Stop talking to me. I want to look lonely and bored.
Oh my God. I know. I'm going to be the wallflower.
Yeah, let me just sit over here and look cute.
I know.
Hopefully they'll see me.
Oh my goodness.
This is
well,
funny.
that was funny. Yeah, those are back in the good old days, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Even maybe not the good old days, though, you know,
No.
because there was a lot of traumatization.
No. Yeah, maybe we should just throw out, like, we're so sorry if we hurt your feelings on the dance floor. If we look familiar and you happen to stumble upon our podcast, like, we're so sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry we hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
we didn't mean to.
No, especially me.
No.
I tried to be so delicate about it. So anyhow, we hope we have taught you guys something new.
Yeah.
This whole cool girl syndrome
I know.
thing.
Huh.
And
it taught me something new.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I did find that podcast I
Yeah.
was listening to so fascinating
Wow.
and like really sad, that people will like literally just kind of like hide and pretend they're someone else just to get the attention or to have someone like you. So if you're out there, don't do that.
Yeah.
The right person is going to find you and they're going to
and
love
like
you.
you for you.
Yes, just the way you are. So
Yep.
don't change.
Yeah, and let them know you hate seafood.
Yeah. I'm gonna still stick to what I did. I'm standing true to what I
You
did.
do that. You
Because
do that.
I think I made it very easy for them.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't make them flop like a fish to try to figure out another first date idea. So anyhow.
Well, guys do it too. Not just girls.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Like,
I knew we were gonna, just quickly. I'll just say my husband now, John, he totally did that.
Did
I
he
think
really?
It was like one of our second dates. I still am. I was always into orchids, the flower orchids.
She died.
And I said there was an orchid exhibit coming to this big hall on a Saturday, like this upcoming Saturday. And I said, would you like to go with me? And he goes, yeah, I'll totally go with you,
Oh my
to that. And I
gosh,
go,
how sweet.
oh, that would be nice,
Yeah.
Little did I know that he worked on Saturdays. He had to actually get somebody to replace him for that day out in Fairfield, and had no idea, of course he never really even thought of an orchid. And he totally went with me and acted like he was having this great
Did you know he was
time.
going to have to take the day off?
I had no idea.
Because we have weekends off back then when we were in escrow.
We did, right.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he did it.
Yeah, being a loan officer, you're on 24/7 basically.
Right. But I didn't really know that,
Wow.
So I didn't know all that. And so, yeah, he totally jumped through hoops to come to an orchid exhibit with me. Do you think he's ever came again? Oh, heck no.
When you were telling me that, I'm like, John went to an orchid exhibit?
So
That was so
guys
sweet.
do it too.
Okay, well then, all right? I'm not the only one.
No,
And men will
you're
do
not.
it too.
No,
So me and John, we get each other, right? We're gonna do things that maybe we wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And too, it's like he wanted to spend time with you.
It was,
I think that was super sweet.
Yes.
Because he's thinking, you know what? I don't have Saturdays off, but she does.
Right.
And I could spend a whole day with her
Mhm.
if I just, maneuver my whole schedule.
Isn't it amazing how it changes when you're dating or when you get married? Wow.
I
I know. It
A
totally
lot of people
changes.
can relate to that, I'm sure.
I bet they can. Okay, so.
All right. Well, we just appreciate you guys, coming back and watching our podcast and hanging out with us. And we just are having so much fun, and we hope we can make you guys laugh. And so we just hope that you'll follow us on social media.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help us, and we would truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Girl Talk and Shenanigans Podcast.
Yes, and don't forget that we are dropping a new episode every Wednesday to hopefully bring some joy to your life.
Yep. We hope you guys have a great day.
Yes, bye.